Now there's no getting away from it. When you say a classic British lawn, you think of that striped effect. You could be at Wimbledon or even at a stately home. Those lines on a lawn are a defining statement of the garden and the owner. Now there's been many a model and machine that can give you this lawn striped effect, but one that stands out the most is the Hayter. Now many of you will know of the Osprey, the Hawk, the Kestrel, the Commodore, the Ambassador, or even the Hayter Harrier. But one that stands out the most is the Hayter Harrier, their most popular model that they've ever sold. And this is the brand new Hayter Harrier 56 Pro. Now, if you speak to any UK lawn enthusiast, they will know of the Hayter brand. It has been around for years. Back in the 1940s, Douglas Hayter invented the first lawnmower for himself. Move on into the early 2000s, the Toro company from the US bought them out. But one thing that has stayed the same is the strength and quality of the machines, and that can't be echoed any more than having a royal warrant put on them by the Queen and being used at Sandringham Palace. These machines historically have been used by domestic and commercial users alike, but over recent years, probably the Hayter brand has gone a little bit quiet, and there could be a few reasons behind that, but I think we need to pop into the workshop and have a look at the machine before we go out and use it. Hayter Harrier mowers have been synonymous for that great British stripe effect you can get on your lawn for many a years. But in the last few years, there has been some issues. Hayter have had their hands up, and hopefully they've sorted those problems. Now, if you're a lawnmower anorak or a Hayter fan like me, this is going to be the video for you, and you're going to want to stick around to see what features and upgrades Hayter have brought out on this new Harrier range. So there might be a few points that you can all relate to with Hayter Harriers. One being that you don't think they're fast enough, the other being they don't collect overly well in the wet, and that they're not up to commercial standard on the gearboxes. Now there is one root cause that makes all of these problems, and it relies on the fact that actually the Hayter mower is a fantastic collector in the wet. It's got a huge pokey engine on the front, which keeps filling the grass box to the point where you don't know it's full, so it then turns the cutting deck into mulch mode because the chute is now blocked. Those clippings or that mud, if you're using it in the wet, is then sticking to the roller. There's not enough room between the roller and the frame itself, so it's putting stress on the drive system, back into the gearbox and back into the belt. And then you want the mower to go faster, so you've tweaked up the engine, or the dealer's tweaked up the engine to give you more RPM, and that is just going back to that problem at the start and making it bigger. And also, the old Hayter didn't have variable speed, or it does have variable speed, but should I say people don't realise it did. So you were using the mower at full speed in the wrong conditions. And this was being exaggerated by the fact that basically the bail arm on the original Hayter was variable speed. But a lot of contractors didn't realise this, so it was either on or off, and you were mowing in the worst conditions at full speed, putting more stress on that gearbox and the drive system. So fundamentally, from the outside, the machines look very similar. So the new model looks like the original. The difference is, and if you're going to go into a dealership to buy one of these machines, this is your key indicator. The 3-speed transmission up the top is going to tell you if this is the new model. But it's actually underneath the covers that makes the big difference. And also that this is the brand new coded machine. So this is the 579C opposed to the 579A. What about underneath the covers? Well, I've got two gearboxes in front of me. I've got the brand new Hayter Harrier 56 Pro gearbox here, and I've got the original on my left-hand side. So let's check out all the differences between each one. One of the big problems was the amount of grass that was getting clogged between the roller and the frame itself. And as you can see, there's not much of a gap between the actual frame and the rib roller on the old model. But on the new one, you can literally get your fingers in between. There's a good probably ½ an inch there. You can get your fingers in between the roller. So if you're collecting in wet grass or in muddier conditions, the roller obviously can still fill up with grass debris, but it should then fall off before it gets to that problem where you're getting stuff stuck in between and putting stress on the roller and the drive system. Now, many of you may have also suffered what we call end slop on your roller. So if I just bring the old version up first and just show you the amount of movement you get between the roller and the frame itself, as you can see there. Now, the reason behind that is because the way it was assembled and to put the roller into place, the roller had to be a little bit smaller to get it up there to put it into the frame. And then in turn, when you're turning around a corner, because you've got ratchets in your roller, you might get that juddering effect when it wears, because the roller will go one end or the other, and the ratchets may just pull in or out. Now on the new machine, on the frame there, you've actually got a gap in the roller assembly. So when it's being assembled, the roller shaft or the drive shaft in the roller can actually be longer. The roller can be slightly longer as well, and you don't get that end slop. So you shouldn't get that juddering when you're turning the corner. Moving on to the end of the roller assembly, as you can see, instead of using roller bearings that can have water ingress, get rusty and seize onto a shaft, they actually use HD bushings. Now inside the rollers on the ends, they actually have larger end caps as well. So that helps with stopping any ingress of dirt and debris getting into that ratchet assembly. And as everything wears, obviously it gets looser. So what Hayter have done on the side of this roller assembly is they put a heavy duty chain on there, a stronger sprocket which is now bolted onto the drive shaft, and you've also got a tensioning bush that just strengthens everything on the side of the machine. Many of you may be familiar with the Toro Pro Stripe machine, which is a professional graded rear roller, which is used in a lot of sports turfs and sports facilities, and is a tried and tested machine. So what they've done is they've used that gearbox on that machine, and they've now fitted it onto the Hayter Harrier 56 Pro. So as you can see, the gearbox looks a lot different to the original. This has obviously got 3 speeds and your engagement lever here just on the side, opposed to the variable speed gearbox they actually fitted on the original machine. So this one is now gone, and they fit it up with a new gearbox. And the last thing you'll notice on the gearbox assembly is the amount of metalwork in the frame itself. As you can see, a slightly different design on the side and more support in the center of the frame itself. Now, moving away from the drive system, we go on to the grass box. There's a small tweak that they've made to this, and that is the fact that they've actually made a lighter sail on the back end of it. So this blows open when you've got air going into the grass box and it's filling up, so it pushes up in the air, and when it's full, it shuts down flat. So this should give you a better indication of when to empty your grass box. Now, with all of Hayter's upgrades and features to this model, it should make for one hell of a machine. So I think we ought to head back to the garden and see if these updates really make a difference. The lawn area we have here is ideally suited to this type of machine because it's nice and level and flat, and hopefully we'll have some nice defined lines when we use this Hayter Harrier. So I think it's time to fire it up and see what we can do. But don't rate my stripes, because if you've watched some of our previous videos, you'll see that I can't really keep a straight line. So it's going to test me, this. Let's talk about some of the features you get with this range. Hayter Harriers come in a choice of cutting widths, 16, 19 and 22 inch. The larger 56cm model we have here today is powered by a reliable 850E Briggs & Stratton engine, while the more compact 48 and 41cm options come with the Honda. The 3-speed transmission is standard on the Hayter Harrier 56 Pro, while the 41 and 48cm are fixed speed. All models come with a height range of between 13 and 16mm with 7 positions of cut. The 41 and 48 options come with a sizable 70 litre grass catcher and a larger 80 litre on the 56. And for peace of mind, all of this comes backed up with a 2 years professional warranty. Right, so it's doing a fantastic job, there's no getting away from it. And what about the stripes? Look pretty straight, don't they? Not too bad. Now, one thing I've noticed with this machine is how much that sail blows open on the back of the grass box. I don't think I've used a mower that this blows open quite so much. There's so much airflow getting to the back of that box. It's unbelievable. And I'm probably about, what, 3/4 full now? So I'll need to empty it in a minute. Now, when we first come out on this lawn area as well, it was a little bit damp. It's first thing this morning. After about an hour after we'd done our intro and everything like that, and we got going, I could crank up the speed because I did feel it was a little bit slow here to start off with. So down on the indicator, I can now crank it up to the 3rd speed and see what that does. Because obviously for you commercial guys, you'll want to go a lot faster than I was, but I've obviously just wanted to get me straight lines started to start off with. And yeah, so let's crack on. I think we are full. Look at that for a bale of grass, eh? Look at that. A little bit in the chute, just where I didn't stop quick enough. But that is impressive. Oh, there's some weight in that grass box, and that is filled right to the back corner as well. And I think that's the beauty behind the Hayter design on the cutter deck as well. This is what they call a snail shell, and it just pushes that grass right back into the corner, a square box, and it's filled it right up. Right, let's go and empty it, and then we can carry on. So that's the main lawn area done. What about awkward areas and tight access areas, like down in the veg plot? Now, I have turned down the speed to the middle speed because I felt that the third speed was too fast for me. Now down there in the awkward area, I might actually turn it down to the speed 1. But we'll just see how we go. Hayter's unique trim side design lets you cut right up to the edge, while the impressive 52cm roller is the widest in its class, meaning you can get the job done that much faster. The two-piece roller design makes turning easy while minimising any turf marking, especially important when working in awkward areas. Border cutting is also a lot easier, as you can straddle the rear roller over the edge without the machine falling into beds and borders. And Hayter fitted high lift blades to their models, which really helps with longer or damp grass collection. Okay, so that is the Hayter Harrier 56 Pro, a cracking machine, and it's done some beautiful stripes. Now, what do I like about this machine? Well, certainly the engine has got some power behind it. Cutting that grass down in the veg plot area, it just piled the grass into the grass box. That moves me onto the grass box. That design and that new sail they got on the back, absolutely sublime. It fills the grass box right to the brim, and it's jam-packed. The other feature is obviously the 3-speed gearbox. I started off in the slow speed, I put it up to the fastest speed, and I'll be honest with you, that's probably too fast for what I needed. But for you guys that are doing contracting, I can see why you need that extra speed. And certainly being able to go through about 3.2 miles per hour, it is a really decent speed for a rear roller mower. It's strong, it's got a good construction. I like the cutting deck, and obviously that blade brake clutch system, that's really nice and easy to use. And that slip clutch on the blade as well, that's really nice, because it means if you do hit anything hard, all you're going to do is either bend the blade or it's just going to slide round, so you're not going to do any more damage to the engine. I've always loved Hayter lawnmowers, and this is no different. The build strength and the quality of this machine is second to none, and I love all the features and upgrades they've done to it. And I think if you're a commercial contractor looking at a rear roller machine, Hayter is definitely one you want to check out. Okay, so just a little teaser before we go about the future of Hayter lawnmowers. Well, they are going to bring out a battery version. This is a dual battery Hayter Harrier 56 Pro for all of you professional guys out there that want to go cordless. Now, this model is based very closely on the Toro E-Stripe, so a very popular model, especially in professional sports stuff. Now, this one actually isn't in production as of yet, because they got a few little tweaks left to do on it to make sure it's up to commercial standard. And it will come with all those Hayter features that you know and love, including the variable speed, the blade brake clutch, the slip clutch blade system, and also that rib roller. So we hope you found the video informative and learned a little bit about the Hayter brand. If you like this one, then we dropped a video down to the bottom corner all about the Toro Dingo that James reviewed last year. Anyway, we're Machinery Nation, and we bring you product videos every week all about tools and machinery. We'll hopefully see you in the next one. Cheerio!